The issue here is strictly 100% free speech. Precisely and purely and exactly the kind of free speech that our Constitution was written in blood to protect. This was not some terrorist trying to get John Kerry to admit that he's a Manchurian candidate or a Vietnam War traitor, which he is. This was three simple questions. Well, not simple. He did an excellent job, better job than I could have done, of phrasing his questions first. You can't just jump in and ask this kind of a question without giving some background. He wasn't trying to lecture Kerry, like he probably thought he was. He was trying to bring up the book by Gregory Palast that talks about how the election was given away by Kerry. And there's a very suspicious circumstance around that. Why would Kerry have done that? You know, that's a very important point. And the other two questions he asked were related to that. If he was in skull and bones with Bush, then probably they did have a deal for Kerry to give up the election. They had an agreement to do that. You know, and that's what a lot of people suspect. And that's why people kind of guffawed when he did finally get to ask the third question. And by the way, he asked the question, and then he stopped, and he was waiting for an answer from Kerry when they cut off his mic. Did you see that? So they jumped right in, manhandled him, you know, put their hands all over him, which that part right there disgusts me to the core. They don't have, if he's a criminal, okay, maybe they can, you know, abuse him like this, but he's not. He's not a criminal. He had no criminal intent. Calling his inciting a riot, they were the ones who incited the riot. None of this would have happened if the cops hadn't jumped in. So if anybody incited the riot, it was the cops, not him. Now, that's not bad enough. To taser him, to manhandle, to draw their guns on him. 2 times, guns were drawn on him. These police had guns in their hands and they were telling he was not being arrested. I mean, can you imagine Thomas Jefferson if the police had come out and shut him up when he's trying to talk about religious freedom in the Constitution? In other words, the people who disagreed with them. Kerry had been there. Kerry's a Jew. He would have disagreed. But of course, there were no Jews who were founding fathers, and there were no Catholics, or very few. 1% of the founding fathers were Catholics. So they had the right to free speech. The kind of free speech that he exercised is exactly, precisely what they spilt blood, went to war with England to protect, and lost all of their property and their lives and their fame and fortune. It's absolutely disgusting that this country has let this kind of thing happen. And it's who's doing it? Jewish politicians like Kerry, who says he didn't even know he was a Jew. Cohn is his name. He doesn't know he's a Jew. Everybody else knew. His grandfather knew. And why did he marry a Jew if he didn't know he was a Jew? You know, people who aren't Jews don't marry Jews. And why would a Jew marry Cohn? People who are Jews don't marry non-Jews. And he just discovered now all of a sudden that he's a Jew. Good grief. I mean, these things are, you let a politician like this become a liar, not only are they liars, not only are they war traitors, he's a coward. He's the strongest person in that room. He couldn't stand up and get the cops to quit harassing and intimidating and tasering and threatening to shoot and manhandling a Christian asking the simple question. I mean, this is the fundamental. This goes right straight to the Constitution. There's no more direct way to slice the Constitution up than to take a guy right in the middle of a question and accuse him of inciting a riot. I'm telling you, I've had it. This is it. We got to do something. I mean, we have to do something now. Don't wait.